Here's what I'll say to that. Now, you know what? Nobody cares about my stats, so I don't want to go into it. But I am a pressure player.
It sounds like what your wife was explaining in a very nice way was you don't handle the pressure well. If I give you 90 minutes, at the 87th minute, you're still going to need to complete 2 of the 3 tasks. That's just what it sounds like was being said.
Welcome to another episode of Why is Draymond Green Talking About Football with me, Jordan Schultz, presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. I'm joined as always by NBA champ and NFL, especially Steelers superfan Draymond Green. We've had a great show planned for this week after a wild week 7. Draymond, after a big one yesterday, are the Cowboys a legit Super Bowl contender?
No, I don't think the Cowboys are a real threat at all. I'm still not a big fan of their defense. Dak is playing great. CD looked really good last night, but I think it's been the play of George Pickens that I think has really, ironically, kept this team afloat. George Pickens has looked like the number 1 wide receiver that everybody thought he was in Pittsburgh and kind of was waiting on him to be night in and night out. He's pretty much been that for Dallas, even with CD down. And now, with CD back, it's almost like you got 2 number 1s, and Dak is taking advantage of that. Dak is throwing the ball downfield. I think Dak's throwing the ball downfield more than he has ever in his career. Early on, Dak was a check down guy, throw the underneath routes, but he's airing the ball out. And Dak looks great. Their offenses look really great. Like I said, I'm still not a big fan of their defense. So, yeah, I'm not going crazy over beating a team that's missing their best playmakers. But
yeah,
they look good offensively.
Okay, what do you make of Denver Giants? There's a lot of crazy stats from that game, but there's never been a comeback like that. And actually, a quarterback has never had 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix did that as well.
I mean, to score 33 points in 1 quarter is insane. You see this is a couple comebacks now from Denver, with Philly a couple weeks ago. And now scoring 33 points in the fourth quarter to come back and win the game. It's just showing you that they're building an identity. A lot of people has been big on Denver. Sean Payton put Bo Nix in the top 5 quarterback conversation. Not that, he just throws them there, but to even say that, it's putting him out there, and it's a huge belief in him. And so this is becoming their identity. They're becoming one of those teams that you're going to look up when you have a lead, and teams are going to start getting nervous because that's how this goes. You get a couple comebacks, that becomes your MO. And then before you know it, you're playing against a team with a lead, and when they turn and they see you just sitting there, like, all right, all right, here we go. Teams get nervous, and I think you're going to have to watch that with Denver. But Bo Nix was incredible. Shout out to DT, Demaryius Thomas, going into the Ring of Fame yesterday. So, a Ring of Honor. By the way, the Giants, Jaxson Dart's he's going to be one of the guys. I think we all can agree on that. For Dayball to let that lead go, though, this is just. It's the same guy, man. By the way, Jaxson Dart's almost saving Dayball's job, which is a disaster in itself. But I'm going to leave.
You wonder if they're paired together, though.
Yeah, I just think at this point, Jaxson Dart's 3 games in. You do not have to make him. You do not have to pair him and Dayball. I just don't. I don't think that's the case. I think the Giants will be doing themselves a big disservice and probably setting themselves back 2 to 3 more years if they do that. But we'll see. But I don't think
Here's
they
what I
should
like
be
about
viewed
Dart.
as paired together.
Yeah, what I like about Dart is he rises to the occasion. He's cocky. Got it. Quarterback has to be the biggest in the room. I mean, that's just the way it has to be. And he is athletic.
Very
he
athletic.
Can move. And I mean, even a lot of these throws he makes
on the move,
and these decisions, it's like it doesn't look like a guy who's made 3 pro starts.
I agree. And I still don't think their offensive line is great. All the great throws he makes, he's creating these throws. Like, he's getting outside the pocket. He's extending these plays. He's allowing wide receivers to get downfield regardless of how bad their offensive line is. And he's making the plays. And by the way, when he looks downfield and he can't get it down there, there's no one open, he's taking off and he's making the plays with his feet. I think Jaxson Dart is a stud, and it's unfortunate that we haven't really gotten a chance to see him with Malik Neighbors.
I know. That's the killer. That's the killer. I do wonder if the Giants go out and make a move for a receiver, just to give them another weapon.
I think it's been great, right, like with Jaxson Dart. But, like, do you really think this team is about to make the playoffs in the NFC? I don't.
Well, had they beaten Denver.
That. Yeah, I mean, you put yourself in prime position if you beat Denver. But let's face it, it's still early. They're still probably going to blow another game or two. That's just kind of how this thing goes. Like, I don't really foresee them being a playoff team. I think also, Jordan, right now, Jaxson Dart is playing with no expectations. Although he's been great, he has no expectations. And when you start to go and trade for wide receivers and trade for different positions as if you are a legit playoff team, he now comes under the scrutiny, and that's a different game. And so I'd say, if you're going to go get a wide receiver, I think you do that in the offseason when Malik Neighbors is closer to getting back, and you're giving yourself a real chance. If you have a new coach, you're kind of letting that play out. But I think if you raise the expectations on him right now, I just think you're setting him up for failure because he still don't have, even if you go get a receiver, he still don't have all the proper tools to really do it, in my opinion. And also, as great as he's been, it usually takes NFL teams a little longer than 3 weeks to scout a quarterback and get the download on him. And so I'm not overreacting to these 3 weeks and going, man, they need to go out and get him some more playmakers. Like, yeah, maybe in the offseason, but right now he's free rolling. And I think you let him continue to free roll because it's not like they're just playing this playoff football and they're just this bona fide playoff team.
What does it do though when the expectations when there's like none and you're just going out and playing as you say? What does that allow? And then how does it change when, now we got to be, the people are expecting things?
You get the opportunity to go out and be the player who you always thought you were, who you believe you were, who, the NBA system or NFL system, however you want to look at it, doesn't really allow you to be. You have there's this notion of, from just normal fans that, oh man, I can go do that better than this guy. And like the reality is they really don't stand a chance. That's because everybody in these leagues are great. And so when you have the opportunity to go out there and play with no expectations, you're essentially given the opportunity to go out there and be exactly who you've always believed you are. There's no expectations, so the roles are slightly less, important, and that's kind of what they're doing right now. But when the expectations grow and you're supposed to win, you're supposed to play great, it changes things a little bit. The noise around you change, the expectations change, and so that's a big difference. A team playing with no expectations and a team playing with expectations is completely different. Jalen Hurts is not going to play the same game as Jaxson Dart. Although they can be showing up to the same stadium and playing against each other, they're not playing the same game. And so I think, that changes a lot. So I'm going to pump the brakes on it a little bit. Although I am a Jaxson Dart fan, at this point, I think he has the tools, but I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit.
You know who is a great story that's not getting enough national attention? Christian McCaffrey. I don't think the average fan really realizes how great he's been. And I put this out a few minutes ago on X. I'm going to read it. He's the first player, Draymond, CMC, since Marshall Faulk in 2000, Greatest Show on Turf, to go for 450-plus rushing and 450-plus receiving in the first 7 games of an NFL season. And by the way, Faulk won MVP that year.
Listen, Christian McCaffrey,
it's unbelievable.
Well, here's the thing, Jordan. He's playing great football. I think over the last year or two, people have thought he was down and out. I kept hearing things about his hamstrings, hearing things about his calves, and And as someone who's gone through an L4, L5, S1 injury, it affects everything else. When I
That's
went through
low
mine,
back.
absolutely. When I went through that, I lost all power in my calf. And so all last year, I kept hearing everybody say, oh man, Christian McCaffrey's having a hamstring problem. Christian McCaffrey's having a calf problem. It's affecting his Achilles. And I kept hearing those things, and I couldn't help but say to myself, like, man, that sounds like it's coming from his back. Because when I lost all power in my calf, I had no back pain, but I lost all power in my calf. And so now that I feel like they've got that issue figured out because he looks healthy, he looks spry, he's able to be the Christian McCaffrey that he was before the injury. And he's playing some of the best football that we've seen. He's doing that with all of his team going down, not having a starting quarterback for majority of those games, which means when you don't have your starting quarterback, they're loading up the box even more, right? Like, he's doing that regardless of all of that. And I think he has to be in the MVP conversation because if you look at their record, they're 5-2. Missed down all the starters.
And they've had Bosa,
Fred
done.
Warner.
They haven't had receivers. Warner,
Ayuk has not been
Kittle.
There. Kittle's been out. Jawan's missed a couple games. Like, this is a
it's
battered team, and they're right up there at the top of the league record-wise. Kyle Shanahan has to be right up there at the top of the list for Coach of the Year, and McCaffrey's out there doing it. And so he has to be in the MVP conversation. I don't think there's anyone else that's just dominated to the point where they're the MVP, right? Daniel Jones is having a great year. Baker's having a great year. You got Dak's having a great year, but their record doesn't do it, right? So you got guys out there having great years, but when you're stacking both of them up, I think Christian McCaffrey has to be right there in the race, and I also don't see it slowing down.
Yeah, McCaffrey's year right now is very similar to Saquon's year last year.
100%.
Where he's dominant as a pass catcher, he's dominant as a runner, and the entire offense goes by how he goes.
1,000.
Now, what's amazing
which is the way it was
that
before he got hurt, right?
That's always how McCaffrey's operated, and that's how San Francisco's operated. But the last couple of years, we haven't had the good fortune of seeing that because of the health or lack thereof. Now that he's healthy and playing like that, I wasn't sure what to expect from San Francisco this year. I was very concerned about the injuries, and I still am concerned. But at 5-2, and McCaffrey playing at that level, which, like you said, he's not just an offensive player of the year candidate. Right now, he's an MVP candidate. I'm blown away, completely blown away.
I agree with you, Jordan. I think, they're playing some incredible football. Now, I do think there are some things in there that can shake things up, right? Like when Brock Purdy is healthy, that has been Mac Jones leading these wins. He's led 4 of the 5 wins. When Brock Purdy's healthy, you're paying this guy $60 million a year. They're probably making that switch back. That changes things, And so I do think they have some things ahead of them that just kind of throws a monkey wrench into it a bit that they're going to have to sort through and figure out. But the way they're playing, I like you said, I do worry about the injuries, especially, they continue to play at this pace and you get into the playoffs. Just like the Detroit Lions, right? Like last year, the Detroit Lions were able to win a lot of football games, even after Aiden Hutchinson went down. However, when they got,
got to the
playoffs, But as soon as they got to the playoffs, then you're able to see where those star players are missing. Where Aiden Hutchinson all of a sudden comes off the edge and make a play that no one else on the defensive line can make. You get to the playoffs, and there's more of a focus on those guys missing. You're missing Fred Warner. You're missing all of these guys. There's Nick Bosa. There's a different scope on those injuries, on those gaps when you get to playoff football. And so I'm not going to get overly crazy and like, oh, man, this team can win the Super Bowl. Like, they got too many injuries for that. But I do think they can continue to be dominant during the regular season. And I don't expect that to change because they will get healthier. Kittle's back, right? Like, at some point, you hope that you get Ayuk back, And so you start to fill in those gaps, but I still don't think they're in the position to compete for a Super Bowl this year.
The Bears might be.
No.
The Bears,
Bears beat the Saints yesterday.
Yeah, but they've won 3 straight, right?
That's fine. They beat the Saints yesterday.
I want to
we're not
pull up
about
Caleb's
to,
numbers.
we're not about to say a team that beat the Spencer Rattler-led Saints, our Super Bowl team, because they beat, like, come on. You kidding me?
And Caleb didn't have the game. I was gonna, if he had a big game, I was gonna come on here and say, oh well.
And unfortunately, you just embarrassed yourself because he didn't. They just played the Saints.
No, I didn't realize he didn't have a touchdown. I thought he might have had at least one or two.
Yeah, because you was just watching the score.
There's a million.
Scoreboard watcher.
I'm a stat guy. The problem is there's so many games going on that it's hard to follow everything, especially in the early slate.
You better get your YouTube TV together, NFL Insider. You got to be able to multitask now. You got to be able to see 4 screens.
I'm not a multitasker.
Yeah, that's why you see them.
You know what my wife calls it? I don't have good executive functioning. Have you heard that term from your wife? Executive functioning? I don't even know what the hell it means. Apparently, it means I don't do a great job of, if I have to do a few different things and I have to get them done, let's say in the next 90 minutes, I'm not great at that.
In other words, you were the basketball player you are because you don't handle pressure well.
Here's what I'll say to that. Now, I you know what? Nobody cares about my stats, so I don't want to go into it. But I am a pressure player.
It sounds like what your wife was explaining in a very nice way was you don't handle the pressure well. If I give you 90 minutes, at the 87th minute, you're still going to need to complete 2 of the 3 tasks. That's just what it sounds like was being said.
What are some of the, because this is a multi-purpose, multi-dimensional show, I'm just really curious selfishly, what's like one of the most consistent issues or discussions, conversations that you and your wife have that she gets frustrated with you about?
Listening.
Not basically feeling like she's not being heard?
No, not necessarily that she's not being heard. I am much of a multitasker, and so I could be listening to her and multitasking and doing a different thing. And she's like, I just need you to listen. I need you to not do that thing.
Don't stop what you're doing and listen to me.
But I can repeat back to you every word you just said verbatim. And although I wasn't quite looking at you, I can definitely tell you every single word that you just said. And then it's like, oh, well, now you're being a smart aleck, right? Like, oh, no, I just happened to hear everything you said.
You've done that to me a few times.
I've heard every single word you said. So I'd say it's probably that one, which is the complete opposite of your executive functioning.
Well, yeah, the word that, I'm giving out all the secrets here, but the word that people would say about me is limited. I have a limited ability with some of these
I think
elements.
We're all limited somewhere. That's just the nature of being a human being. I think we're all limited in some area.
How about Kansas City? They're not limited. 31 points, 31-0. This is the craziest stat. They gave up 3 first downs and 95 yards to Las Vegas. Now that they got Rashee Rice back, and we've been talking about this for the last few weeks, that's the difference. He is a true number 1, and that's going to make everyone a lot better.
So I think it does make a big difference having Rashee Rice back. It's one of the playmakers that Patty has been missing over the last couple of years. To see him get in the fold, that's going to open Travis Kelce up more. Like, it's going to open a lot of things for this offense. I think if you look at the last 3-4 weeks, Kansas City is starting to look like Kansas City we expected. A lot like the Bears win. I'm not making this huge fuss about beating the crap out of the Las Vegas Raiders. They stink.
Not a good team. But
Kansas City just looked good. And that's a division game. Like, even when teams suck, records go out the window when you're playing division games. You look at Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, and obviously Cincinnati added Flacco, and that's a different thing, but still. Records go out the window when you're playing division games, and they went out there and mopped the Raiders like they weren't standing there. And I just think we're starting to see Kansas City rounding the form. No one's been talking about Patty Mahomes almost as if he's a forgotten thought.
Think about this. This is an unbelievable stat. In his last 5 games, 69% completion, almost 1,400 passing yards, 14 total touchdowns, 1 interception.
Which is the Patty we've grown to know. right? Like he's quietly
Yeah.
putting together an MVP season, and as their
He
records
is.
continue to improve, because it's going to as they continue to get healthier and get all their guys back in the fold, he's going to be right up there for MVP again. You know, but when you're great for so long, people get bored with it. And so right now, nobody's talking about it. But they win a couple more games in a row, and they're sitting right up there at the top of the league record-wise. And you look at these numbers that Patty's been putting up, he's going to be right up there for MVP. So I think it's interesting what's happening there, how they're starting to pull it all together. You know, you hear this could be Travis Kelce's last year. You know they want to go out with a Super Bowl. And I think their process about going through the season and how you go through it is right. You know, when you lose a Super Bowl, when you lose a championship, it's a lot of fuel, you know, and they're still feeling that sting. And so I'm enjoying watching their process because everyone else
How much
is
of
kind of
the
asleep
hangover?
to that process.
Yeah. How much of the hangover effect is real after in your case, you know, not winning a finals and coming back? How much does it bother you? How hard is it to cope with?
Well, number one, you spend your entire offseason pissed off about it. So then there's that. You get back out in the field, but the only thing that you want to do once you finally get the opportunity to get back out in the field and start a new season is get to that final game so we can do this and like make that right.
You just want to get there.
Like,
Yeah.
we need to get back there and make it right, but you embrace the process more getting back there because you start when you lose, you start to look back through that process like, man, and you realize it just wasn't that game that caused it. We had slippage here, we had slippage there, and you go through the process correcting all of that slippage. And I think that's where they are right now, and they're locked in. They look incredible.
Who are the best 5 wide receivers in football right now? And I only ask this because Devontae Adams, friend of the show, had 3 touchdowns in London. So right now, basically halfway through the season, rank the top 5.
So also, just so we're clear, when I said Devontae is about to put his name back in the hat earlier this year, when we spoke about breakout players, first episode, and I said, listen, this is not like I'm saying a guy who isn't already a made man, but I'm telling you, this guy is about to go have an incredible year, put his name right back in the hat as one of the top dogs, and Harris Tay doing exactly that thing. So, my top 5. Tay's definitely in that top 5. Emeka Egbuka's in that top 5. Jackson Smith-Njigba's in that top 5. Jamar Chase is in that top 5. And
it's always the 5th one. That's the hardest.
Because the reason the 5th is hard for me, because it's hard not to put Jettas in the top 5.
Yeah, I think he has to be, even without the quarterback.
It's really tough but you also hate to see like the quarterback situation that's playing out, but it's really tough not to put Jettas in the top 5. So I'm going to have to go Jettas for sure.
That's a hell of a list. I think the one that will surprise people the most is probably Egbuka. Because
but I think he's been,
you know, he's so new to the scene.
He is, but he's been pretty much the number 1 all year. Like Mike Evans hasn't been the true number 1. It's kind of been Egbuka. So I think
Evans has been hurt. Godwin's been hurt.
That's what I'm saying, and he's been carried. Like Baker Mayfield is having an MVP year, despite those guys being hurt. And I think it's because Emeka Egbuka has been so great. So I gotta put him up there. It's not that he's just a top 5 receiver in the NFL. No, you got to earn that. But he's definitely playing the football of a top 5 receiver. And you know, I think also who's right there is obviously Puka. Puka's also having a great year. So
Puka's been outstanding. Obviously, the injury.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't because of the injury. But Puka's been incredible before the injury.
All right, but I have one more for you. I've been thinking about this.
Let's go.
This is really hard, but for the rest of the season, start, bench, cut the following 3 quarterbacks. This is just for the rest of the season: Baker, Mahomes, Allen.
I'm always starting Patty Mahomes. You don't bet against Patty Mahomes. So I'm starting Patty Mahomes. I'm benching Baker Mayfield. I'm cutting Josh Allen. He's not the guy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have.
I told you, he's not the guy.
Asked.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. He's not the guy. That's my start bench cut. It's very easy, by the way. Patty for sure.
It's easy
Josh
for you.
Allen can't. Josh Allen can't beat Patty. We know that.
Yeah,
right?
we're
Like, that's proven.
at some
That's
point
proven.
we're gonna have to start. At some point we're gonna have to start putting Daniel Jones in this conversation.
All right. Well, you can do that, and I'll leave that for you to do. Daniel Jones is playing incredible football, but I'll leave that for
He's
you to
playing
do.
great.
But
He
because you don't want to admit that Josh Allen is no Patty Mahomes, you just jump to Daniel Jones. Okay, great. So
I love Josh Allen. I'd still put Mahomes 1.
and then you're going to cut Baker.
No,
Okay, so who you cutting?
No. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I was just hoping you would give me a fun answer.
Oh no, well the answer's fun. It's done. But who are you cutting?
I probably have to cut Baker reluctantly.
That'd be the definition of a label whore, essentially.
Oh,
Yep.
like I see, right? Nike,
You ever heard
Adidas.
like you ever heard? Yeah, you're like, oh, this person doesn't have swag. They're a label. That's essentially what you just did.
Right. Well, that's who I am.
You picked Josh Allen
Based off of
because-
prestige.
Yeah, not based off of the year. And no thanks. I'll take Baker.
We'll keep an eye on those storylines and more as we move into week 8. It's time now to make our bets for the week. But first, a word from our friends at Fanatics. Other sports books just don't hit right, but FanCash makes switching to Fanatics Sportsbook easy. Only Fanatics gives you up to 10% back on all bets, win or lose. You can use your FanCash to unlock the world of Fanatics, from more bets to tickets to memorabilia and one-of-a-kind experiences that only Fanatics can offer. Don't leave rewards on the table this football season.
Switch to Fanatics Sportsbook and let the fan cash roll in. Winning hits different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app. Hashtag Fanatics Sportsbook partner. As always, it's time for Picks and Parlays presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. We have first up a 3-leg parlay, Thursday Night Football, Vikings, Chargers in LA. And just for full transparency, all these lines from Fanatics Sportsbook up to date as of Monday, October 20th. So we continue to go 2 out of 3. And I want to be very clear that last week I had told you, Draymond, we should go with the over on Flacco because he found something. And he did just that. But you insisted on you had to go Aaron Rodgers, and that's what cost us the bet.
Just so we're clear, Aaron Rodgers did live up to the bet.
I forgot about the
that we picked to get over 20 yards.
The Gainwell pick was both of ours, to be fair, as well.
I agree, it was, and I definitely thought he'd get over 20 yards, but unfortunately,
3 carries. I mean, what do you?
It's going to be hard to get 20 yards on 3 carries.
Jalen Warren was balling too,
and which made it tough, right? Because we were playing from behind most of the game, and so even when you ran it, giving those touches to Jalen Warren because he was rolling. So tough break.
Yeah.
That's why you don't pick a third string running back on a prop bet.
Yeah, but we wanted those odds.
True.
All right, so for this week, we got a 3-leg parlay. We're going to go Keenan Allen, anytime touchdown. We got Ladd McConkey, 4+ catches.
Yes, sir.
And Jordan Mason, anytime touchdown. For context, the Chargers have given up a rushing TD in every game but one, and Jordan Mason's been quietly really good without Aaron Jones. McConkey, 4+ catches. He does that in his sleep.
No
Mason's
question.
been a beast. And Keenan Allen, it's either every time you watch Keenan Allen, you forget that he's well into his 30s. He looks awesome. He had another 100 yards this past week. I mean, he's timeless. You know, some of these guys, I bet you if Keenan Allen ran a 40 right now, he's like a 4.63.
Yeah, but he just knows how to do it. He knows where to go. He knows how to find the lapses in the zone. One-on-one, he's still a tough cover. His route running is still insane.
And he is the third down.
Absolutely.
Always
some of the surest hands in the league.
He would have been a great Steeler.
He would have been a great Steeler. And Aaron Rodgers would have taken complete advantage of it. Unfortunately, he decided to go back to the Chargers where they just struggle to win. But I understand why he would go back. That's home, and you can't knock that. But I like this parlay. I like this one. No more two for 3. I think this is the one.
We're 2 for 3 damn near every week.
It's crazy. This is the one.
All right, Draymond, to summarize, we got Keenan Allen, anytime touchdown. We got anytime touchdown Jordan Mason and 4+ catches for Ladd McConkey, who is really emerging these last few weeks for the Chargers. Be sure to check out our parlay in the Fanatics Sportsbook app and ride along with us on Thursday night. It's time for our head-to-head pick'em. Each week we pick the hottest games against the spread. I don't know how else to say, but Draymond did call it. He's come all the way back. He went 2-1 last week. I went 1-2. He's now 12-14. I am 13-13. So we basically have the same record. Dallas at Denver. This is a good game for a lot of reasons. I would lead Denver as a 3-point favorite. I don't like how the defense played, and I would have to imagine they respond in a big way.
I agree. I'm rolling with Denver. I think Harris, these are the types of game where Dallas defense gets exposed. And so I'm rolling with Denver 100%. 3-point favorite, no question. But I'm going to continue to run this up on you, just so you know.
Well, I imagine I know where you're going with this game. Green Bay, 3-point favorite at Pittsburgh. So you're getting 3 at home against a Green Bay team that barely got out of the Arizona desert with a win. You're gonna take the 3, yeah?
I'm for sure taking the 3. Obviously this is A-Rod playing against his former team. He's gonna have a big game. Guys gonna show up. We're coming off a loss, as you know. Mike T gonna have the guys ready to go. We played on Thursday night, so we get more rest. I think this is perfectly set up for Pittsburgh to take this game. 3-point underdog. This is an easy one, and here's the game where I close the gap. Let's go.
Give me the Pack. Pack is back. How about Chicago at Baltimore? So explain this to me. Baltimore's a 7-point favorite. We're all assuming that Lamar Jackson's back. But considering how poorly the Ravens have played, that's an awful, awful big spread. And Chicago's won 3 straight.
It shows you how much people don't believe in the Bears. And the Bears. And they won 3 straight, but they beat the Saints. Like it hasn't been like 3 great teams that they've beat. Like they won 2 of them by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
But 7 points is a lot.
Yeah.
I think I have to take Chicago on this one. I don't know that I can go 7-point. Like Baltimore has done nothing to be 7-point favorite. I got to go Chicago.
Yeah. And defensively, they've been really bad. A lot of injuries. I'm going to go with Chicago as well.
Oh,
he don't go with Chicago as well.
He want to ride the bandwagon, folks.
Yeah.
Smart choice, Jordan. I mean, it's the smart choice.
I don't make a lot of them, but that was a good one. How about Giants at Philly? Philly's a 7-point favorite. This is a rematch of Thursday night. I'm all over the place on this game. Number 1, the Eagles are going to want to get things right. Number 2, the Eagles just had a big win. And number 3, the Giants come off a devastating loss. I'm gonna lay the points. I'm gonna take a 7-point Eagles team.
7 points is so many points, but they laid.
And I know you don't like betting big spreads in division games.
It's just such a big.
What's it gonna be?
I'll take the Giants. I don't love it.
+7.
I do not love it.
I don't love Green Bay getting 3-point favorite at Pittsburgh, but sometimes you gotta lay out.
I do not love it, but I'll take the Giants. I don't love it. Saquon's gonna bounce back, right? Like he had a tough game. Yesterday he had a tough game against the Giants last time, but I do not love the 7 points, but I am taking the Giants.
All right, so there it is. We'll track these picks every week, powered by Fanatics Sportsbook. You can follow along and put your own futures in the Fanatics app. Draymond, parting thoughts as you head to practice. Do you guys open up Tuesday night? Are you tomorrow night?
Tuesday night, tomorrow night versus the Lakers, baby.
In L.A.
In L.A. Showtime.
No bronze. Should be easy.
It's never easy. Number 1, they still got this guy named Luka Doncic. You familiar with him?
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
Yeah. Southside.
Are you gonna?
What's
so
up?
you're gonna
What's
guard
up?
him a lot.
I will see. I just take the matchups as they come. Whoever I have to guard, and that'll be that.
Skinny Luka.
Excited. I'm excited. Skinny Luka is real, But I'm excited. I think you always look forward to the opportunity to play Bron, especially with the battles.
Yeah.
that we've had over the years. Sucks that he's not going to be out there, but we'll still have our hands full. It's opening night. Everybody's coming out, guns blazing. So it'll be a fun game for us.
Any ticket requests for you?
Oh man, the ticket requests are due. I feel like I'm a rookie all over again with the ticket requests. It's crazy.
Everyone wants a ticket.
Everyone wants a ticket, but unfortunately, I'm not a rookie all over again, and I'm not buying 1 million tickets.
No,
No, sir.
no, not at crypto. That thing is expensive.
Expensive tickets, night one, showtime. Nah, I'm not buying 1 million tickets. No, thank you.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Be a good year, brother.
Let's go, Dubs!
In the meantime, next week, I will be tied for the lead in head-to-head pick'em.
You might have the lead.
Subscribe right now on YouTube. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and download Fanatics Sportsbook so you can make your picks along with us.